This is a story of a friend of mine who came and told me, when my grandma was 80, the doctor told her she has to walk 5 kilometers every day. Now she's 90. We don't know where she is. I want to talk to you today about countdown to greatness. Countdown to greatness. And if you are a little bit aware of the time of the year in the Jewish calendar right now, is the counting of the Omer, right? Not the most popular mitzvah, not as bad as Shatnez, but also very low in the rank, at least in Winnipeg. But to me, it's one of my favorites. The meaning behind the counting of the Omer is fantastic. It's something that I wish more people will understand. And how the counting of the Omer is so connected to Pesach, but it's also connected to Shavuot. In fact, counting of the Omer is what give the reason to both of those holidays. Counting of the Omer brings Pesach to a different dimension and brings Shavuot to a different dimension. So what is this counting? Well, according to the Rabbi, Shavuot, which happens 50 days after Pesach, is the anniversary of the revelation of the Torah. The Torah is the most important thing for us, right? Maybe 2,000 years ago, the most important thing was the temple. But we don't have the temple anymore. And the Torah became our portable temple. We can take the Torah everywhere we go. The Torah can give inspirations to our lives everywhere we are. The Torah can bring wisdom to our lives in any situation we may be. So the Torah became the most important thing for the Jewish people. Okay? And so the easiest way to understand the counting of the Omer is that we count every day between Pesach and Shavuot because we are excited to receive the Torah. But it's like anything in life. I don't know if you, when you have a big milestone or something important coming to your life, you prepare yourself in advance. Sometimes we literally count the days for that to happen. It could be a birthday, right? Could be a retirement. I always tell this story. I had friends. They eventually moved out of the province, but this man had in the fridge was a magneto, and it was electronic, and it was a countdown to his retirement. So I think he put it on like 5 years in advance. So it will tell you the years, the month, the dates, the hours, the minutes, and the seconds. So every day he will go to get even like anything to the fridge, he will remember how long until retirement, right? I thought it fascinating. Maybe one day I will need it, not for now. Then the other thing that sometimes we count our days for a big vacation. I don't know if it ever happens to you, right? That maybe, especially I remember people after the lockdowns and after COVID, that they booked the first vacation for a long time, how they were counting the days for that to happen. But counting the days is also an opportunity for us to prepare for that big event, right? Because otherwise you will go through that event unprepared. And there were things that they were not going to be done. Let me give you an example. Let's say that you're counting towards a birthday, okay? Why is it important to count towards that birthday? Because you have to send invitations. How long before? Well, I said 2 weeks. Well, but you need to count. One is 2 weeks before the birthday, so you need to calculate time. Well, you need to take care of the food. Maybe you want to hire a catering company. Well, you need to know how long in advance. Maybe you need some decorations. How long in advance? So it's important to count so you can prepare. Or retirement, the same thing, right? You have to make bank arrangements, paperwork, etc. What about a big vacation? You also need to count because you have things to prepare. Do you have your passport? You can't take care of your passport, 1 week before. If it's expired, you have to start a couple of months in advance. What about, I don't know, do you have all the vaccinations that the country requires? Maybe you need 2 or 3 doses. So you have to count the days so you can prepare in advance. You need your supplies, Maybe you're going to go into a diet before, right? So you need to know how far in advance to start. So, and then I realized that the level of enjoyment of that big event will be totally related on how well you prepared for that occasion. If you have a big birthday coming up and you didn't send the invitations, you didn't prepare the food, you didn't arrange the decoration, you're not going to enjoy it, even when it's coming to you. So the preparation is absolutely linked together with the level of enjoyment that event. So it's not a coincidence that before we receive the Torah, the greatest thing of the Jewish people, we need to prepare. Because in part, how much we are going to be able to enjoy that gift from God is related of how well we prepare for that occasion. And the rabbis explain that it took 49 days or 50 days for the Jewish people to go from Egypt to Sinai to receive the Torah because they also have to prepare. The Kabbalists talk about 49 levels of impurity that they had, and they had to get rid of those 49 levels of impurity in order to receive that Torah. And it's fascinating, to understand at least from this concept that things don't happen by magic. You have to prepare yourself to do that. Now, this is the interesting thing, because we already have the Torah, right? The Torah was revealed. So why do we have to prepare now? We understand people of Israel back then in the desert after Egypt, 49 levels of impurity. We don't have 49 levels of impurity. We don't. We were not born in slavery. We had a different kind of life. So why do we need to prepare before Shavuot? The Torah is already ours. Well, let me tell you something. And this is one of the worst mistakes that we can make in life, especially when we inherit something. We think that because we inherited, we don't have to work to keep it up or to make it grow. Look what happens sometimes with people that they are born rich. They are born into a rich family. And they inherit a business. Their parents, maybe grandparents, worked like crazy for that, to build it from scratch. Now it's a big company, and you inherit it. So what are you going to do? Just let it dry out? Or you're going to keep working to not only keep it there, but to make it grow, right? Well, let me tell you, for many people, the answer is they don't do anything, and eventually they lose everything that they got as an inheritance. And it's very sad to see. So the same happened with the Jewish people and the Torah. We got it by inheritance. But what are we going to do? Just let it dry out? Because I look around and it looks like sometimes that's exactly what is happening. We got the Torah, we got beautiful traditions, we got so many things from previous generations, and are we keeping it there or even more? Are we growing that tradition to have something to pass on to the next generation? Not everybody. But the counting of the Omer is a reminder that we have to do it. And I would say, that it's not a coincidence that Yom HaAtzmaut, Israel Independence Day, happens during the counting of the Omer. Because let me tell you, we also inherited the state of Israel. Most of us. It was created in 1948. I wasn't born back then. There were people who lobbied, who fought, who gave so much, so Israel was a reality. And it became a country and a great nation. And then we were born and we inherited that. What are we doing? Are we going also let it dry out because we got it by inheritance, because we didn't have to work to make it a reality, or we are going to learn from the counting of the Omer our responsibilities towards Israel, that in order for Israel not only to continue to exist, but to keep flourishing and growing and to be an inspiration for even more people, we have to do the work. We should never give up, and we should never forget our daily responsibility for Israel to be a reality, and for us to have and Israel to give to the next generation. So wonderful time of the year, counting of the Omer, but also a time where we learn responsibilities. And we learn that sometimes we are blessed enough to receive things without having to work for it. But when that happens to you, you automatically have a new responsibility to not only keep it alive, but to make it grow so you can eventually pass it on to the next generation. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.